Good evening, everybody. Simon here, Explosive Action. I am back with another record update. Quite the stack in front of me. We are here for September. It's only a few days into September and I've got this pile from last August. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. Buying music, apparently. But anyway, in the background, we are listening to the Carnifex compilation of demos. Not the American deathcore garbage. No. The Finnish Carnifex. This is Pathological Rites, which is a compilation of their, 1991 Decadence demo, the split demo with Festaday from the same year, demo 3 from 1993, and some rehearsals from 1993. Really good band. It's a shame they didn't get on to doing any full length. You can hear in the background, they have quite the Finnish sound. Definitely on the death grind. More about speed and I guess some driving riffs rather than the doomier sound of some Finnish death metal. The first records we're going to be looking at here, I was very lucky to actually get a Go to Warex drop. I'm still surprised that it worked out. I'm sure you all know Go to Warex, China-based label who quite notorious for their very limited runs of records and tapes, and their pretty random, very late night drops for when the releases come out. And in Australian time, this stuff got released at about 2:45 a.m. My F5 finger was getting very tired, all that refreshing, but I got there. I was very keen to get what they were advertising as a miniature trilogy of indigenous black metal, featuring 3 bands: Ifenak, the Pan-American Native Front, and Maquito. I knew I'd get it wrong. Maquito. And the 3 bands I'm going to go through here. The first one here is Ifenak, with I think it's their 3rd album. I could be wrong. This is the Green Enchanted Forest of Druid Wizard. It's an amazing cover on this one. So the visuals first, the usual OBI strip that you get with Go to Warex LPs, and this one is worth bringing out because it is a lovely green emerald record to go with the cover. Musically, on this album at least, Ifenak have been drinking from the wells of Berzon's Philosophum very deeply. It is a lush, organic sound. Twin tremolo guitars are just amazing sounding. It's got ambient passages, it's got some real dreamy just dreamscape kind of material that's got some slower moments. It's a real journey, I think, this album. I liked putting it on and just sort of falling into it. Definitely one of those albums. Not a headbanging album, you just go away with it. In the same way that you do with the tracks from something like Philosophum, or the longer tracks on like Detsomen Gangwa. That's exactly what Ifenak were doing on this album. They are a Canadian-based band, and the lyrics, I believe, I haven't dug into them, are about the native Canadian culture, the natives there before what we would know as Canada today. And I can't speak on the topic, I know nothing about it, but the music behind Ifenak on this album is exceptional. And I hope there's another reissue on another format, because I think more people need to hear this. It sold out in about 45 seconds. Ridiculous. The next one is a split between Ifenak and the Pan-American Native Front. So Ifenak on this one are doing a far more raw sound. It is less lush than the previous album, and it's a lot more standard raw black metal. It's all sort of echoey and away from the microphone, I guess, if that makes a bit of sense. it's still very good. It's just a different sound to what you get on the album. And Pan American, that is it's an interesting sound. It's a real driving war, beat of the drums, black metal. At times when it's in the mid-paced range, it sounds like when Destroyer 666 are being mid-paced. That's what it sounded like to me anyway. And it gets quite slow and just heavy pounding sound, but it also gets to super fast blasting. It's really across everything. There's moments where it's got some Native American sort of chanting sounds. I thought it was really great. Their side of the split I did prefer. The Ifenak material is, as I said, more raw, and I prefer the album over their side of the split, but it's still good. Presentation, you get the OBI strip again. This one's in a gatefold, which is really nice. And yeah, so Pan American Native Front are about the Native Americans. So that's the lyrical concept of that band. And I believe all of the bands I'm about to speak about, or that I am speaking about, are one-man bands, one-man black metal bands. And yeah, so this is a really good split. There was, I think it was this morning, a reissue came out. I'm not sure if there's copies left of that. That Pan American put that one out themselves, I think, and it has a sort of a copper version of the colouring on the cover here rather than monochrome. So anyway, highly recommended. Hopefully there is a copy you can get for this. And the third band from this mini indigenous trilogy is Maquito. And I learnt what that was. I was looking up to try and understand what that term was and if I was saying it right, and I think I'm kind of close. So the lyrical concept of this band is the native pre-Mexico Aztec culture, and the Maquito was a weapon that's like a wooden club with metallic blades around the club. It sounds completely devastating. It's spelt differently. Instead of a Q, it's with a C, from what I've looked up. And yeah, I presume that is what they've named the band after, because it is pretty furious and devastating, like the weapon I imagine would be. This is pretty relentless. It's highly melodic, but that's because of the style of guitar. It is just trem-picked the whole way, so it has that melodic nature to it. But it's completely furious. It is, again, one-man black metal from what I understand. They play live, so there must be a live act. Has the OBI strip, and there's also a gatefold. Very nice. The name of this one is The Altar of Nictlampa. I hope I'm getting somewhere close to these names. I did try and research them and get them respectfully as close as I could. But anyway, I think out of the 3 albums that I've shown from this mini indigenous black metal drop, this is my favourite one. It's just the most all-encompassing sound, I think. The Ifenak is quite organic. This one has the most just pure black metal, without being super raw, without being overproduced. It is just pure black metal sound. It reminds me of the German band Imha Tarakat, who did an album last year or year before, which I really, really enjoyed. The vocal style on this is very similar, and even the pace of the music is very similar, so that was the comparison I had. So yeah, Maquito, I think this is their 3rd album as well, or his 3rd album. Don't know too much about the people in any of these bands at all, or any of the previous material that they've done, but I'm very happy again to have been able to get the 3 albums from this Go to Warwick's drop. Next one I want to show is a reissue that I have on CD and was very happy to get on LP. This is a Vargrav with Netherstorm Finnish black metal. Wow, this is amazing. I think I put this in my, was it 2018 end of year list? I'm pretty sure it was there. This is a modern answer to Early Emperor. And the best way I can actually support that is the fact that the reissue of this album comes with a 7-inch, which is a nice bonus, and one of the tracks on there is a cover of Ancient Queen, so that really hammers it home. It has a very similar style, of course. It has, the melodic guitars, the vocals are exactly parallel, but it's the keyboards that run throughout it that really make you think of In the Nightside Eclipse. Reissue on very nice sort of purple, maroon kind of purple, violet, and as far as I know, this reissue is identical to the first press, which was also in the same colour. So very happy to get this. I do have the CD, but I love this one so much that I had to get the LP with the 7-inch. Copy showed up locally, and I wasn't going to say no. I prefer this so much more than the follow-up album. The follow-up album was good, but it was not Netherstorm. This thing just kicks it out of the park. Finnish black metal that sounds like early Emperor. Amazing stuff. Next one, and hopefully I'll get this one right. Axe Ganahais. I should have rehearsed that one. I'm not too sure where these guys come from, or this guy, but this is on Death Cult Productions, who are a UK label. They could be a UK band. This is like Under a Funeral Moon era Dark Throne all over. Really, really solid stuff, but that's the best thing I can describe about it. Pretty sure it's just black vinyl. The Death Cult releases have usually a poster and that kind of thing. So there you go. Very cool. There's not a great deal to say about this album. It's just really solid black metal in the Dark Throne style. And there might still be copies of this one, I'm not too sure, and there might be other formats of it, but definitely recommend picking it up. Crowned in Shadows is the name of the album. I think it is their first release as well, so there you go. Ganahais. Hopefully I got somewhere close to saying that right. Next one we're going to take a look at is the monstrously heavy Atramentus with the album Stygian. Wow, I haven't heard funeral death doom like this since the days of Thorgothan. This is slower than a sloth trying to go up a icy hill. Oh Jesus, my God, this is some heavy stuff. Wow, proper doom right here. I love the cover too. I've forgotten the name of the artist, but he does Bell Witch and all those kinds of things. This is everything you want from funeral death doom. The vocals are right down there. They are slow and gurgly. The riffs are just chunky and forceful. It's got all those things that you get in bands that are disembowelment and like, it has like just random bells and things to make it sound grandiose, and it's such a punishingly slow and really beautiful album to listen to. I don't know what else to say about it. I've been listening to this one quite a bit. I think the cover kind of helps talk about it. These figures that are the mountain overlooking the guy down there, just dominating. I hadn't really thought about that, but yeah, I think that kind of is perfect art for what you're going to listen to on this album. I don't know why I got the LP out, because I think it's just black. Indeed it is. This is on $20 spin and should be pretty straightforward to get a copy of. I got this one locally, and yes, highly recommend, if it wasn't obvious, that you should pick up Atramentus Stygian. The new one from Prospectus Inferi. This is Hypnotic Blood Art. I love this band. They always keep giving me exactly what I want. The absolute definition of a black death metal band. 50% black metal, 50% death metal, 100% evil. Look at that logo. Absolutely astounding stuff. They've got quite a stripped back sound. I don't want to say simplistic, but when I listen to this album particularly, it reminds me of a more bestial, faster version of the Australian band Innsmouth. I don't know if anyone's ever made that comparison with Prospectus Inferi before, that they sound a bit like Innsmouth, but Innsmouth is slower, but it's just got that. I think it's one guitar. I don't think there's two guitars here. It's just got that sort of straightforward metal sort of simplicity, I suppose. I don't want to overstate that and say that it's a simple sounding band, because it's not, but it's just not, it's not like amazing guitar leads or anything like that. It's not full of flourish. It's just straight black death metal. The vocals are just barked at you. It's really good. Their best work by far, I think. Their previous albums have all been excellent, but Hypnotic Blood Art is taking it to logical next step. So, highly recommend picking this one up. This is on Nuclear War now. Should be easy to get. New one from Australian band Temple Nightside. This is Pillars of Damnation, and another time I can say this is the best work of the band. I love Temple Nightside. Haven't been able to see them live. I am not sure how often they've played Sydney, if at all. They probably have, but they're definitely one of those very well respected underground Australian metal bands, the ones that you don't need to speak about because you know they're good and you know they're there. It's black metal, it's a bit of death metal, and on this one the production's actually quite muddy, presumably intentionally. I had to crank the treble with the bass down a bit. That's fine. This is more similar, I think, to their first album that they did on Dark Descent Records many years ago. Than their previous album, which was getting a bit more polished in sound. This one, yeah, it is dark. It is doomy, but not in the speed. It's just sort of an evil, mainly mid-paced black death metal album, mainly leaning on the black metal. Really, really good band, Temple Nightside. Made up of all kinds of Australian usuals that I cannot remember at the top of my head, but yeah, definitely a band to keep on top of everything that they do. Just reading out the back here, it actually says death metal necromancy on the back. That's such a good description. I ended up with the black version. There was an ox blood coloured LP, but little flyer thing in there. That's cool. But I did not end up with the ox blood colour, and that's fine. Temple Nightside, Pillars of Damnation. Really, really good stuff. Wow, everybody's been talking about this thing. This is album of the year territory. It definitely will be for me. This is Black Curse. Yeah, the album is Endless Wounds. This one out on... Who put this one out? Sepulchral Voice. This was proving really hard to get a copy of in Australia. It came out right about when all the international shipping just stopped, and I believe they're a German label and nothing from Germany was shipping here unless you were using premium ultra express like overnight stuff, which costs a bomb. So I was trying to get a copy of this back in like April or May, and there was going to be a group buy and a whole bunch of us were going to get in on it, and nothing eventuated because the borders never opened. Then last week, Victorian record store just had copies. They got in 5 copies, and they sold out in minutes because this thing is an absolute beast. This is like Titan Blood level of thick, fast, heavy, not always fast, but thick black death metal. It's got such production to it that's completely appropriate, not overproduced. It's just really warlike black death metal. It's got all kinds of intelligent lead guitars. It's got lots of pitch harmonics and all kinds of interesting things like that. But really at its heart, it's just a solid black death metal album. The top 10 lists of this year are going to be filled with it, with just, really good reason. get a copy of Endless Wounds, and yeah, this is awesome. Black Curse. Another one that's awesome. I've only had one spin of this so far. This is the new one from Necrot. I love it. I love the gold trim there on the logo. Yeah, this is Mortal out on Tank Crimes, and nice, very nice gatefold there. As I said, I only played it the once so far, but what I heard I liked. I went into this one entirely blind. I loved their last album. I saw Necrot last year. They came and played Australia, which was amazing, and I knew when the new album was coming. I'm not going to listen to it, just it'll be good, I'll buy it. One of those bands that I know they're not going to turn into Britney Spears overnight, so it's Necrot, and yeah, it is a logical evolution for the band. It's a slightly more refined sound. It's the kind of jumping stone, I think, that would get them, their next album's going to be on $20 spin, that kind of thing. You know, sort of the Tomb Mold kind of evolution. That's definitely what you're getting here with Mortal. It's just really well done death metal. It's not too ugly and raw. It's not technical over the top. It's just good, solid death metal that's a little bit necrotic. So there you go. Mortal from Necrot. Really cool. Highly recommended. We got these copies in Australia from a new local distro, and he managed to get the gold ones in, so I was really happy with that. Very nice presentation and a really good album that I'm going to spend a lot more time listening to. Necrot, Mortal. This is the ugly death metal I was referring to. Wow, Cryptworm. Look at that. That is just amazing. What is this even called? Reeking Gunk of Abhorrence is the name of this. It's a 4-track mini LP. And it sounds exactly like this. Look at this. It sounds vile. It sounds disgusting. It sounds a bit like fetid. It sounds a bit like hyperdontia. It's just nasty, ugly death metal. It's always pretty mid to slow pace. I've got a beaming smile on my face as I'm talking about it. It's a lot of fun. It's just filth. It's completely filth. It's on MSUO, and yeah, just Cryptworm. They did a demo and they did a split EP with, I can't remember who it was with. The Arcade Tune? Sounds about right to me. And yeah, 4-track mini LP. Hopefully we'll get a full length from them sometime soon. Cryptworm. And then the next one we got, we're into the reissues now. Sacramentum, Far Away from the Sun. This is one of those classics that doesn't get spoken of as much as it should. Melodic black metal from late 90s, like 97 I want to say. I think I'm about right on that, am I? They're going to say it here? It doesn't. I think it's around about then. Look at the cover. Look at the back. You're thinking dissection and you're not far wrong. They've got that Swedish melodic black death metal sound that was really well done at around about that time, 95, 97. You must know Sacramentum. This is a really, really nice reissue on Century Media. Just a black vinyl, I think, from memory. Got a nice little pentagram on there. Yeah, just a black vinyl. And it's mandatory stuff. I never had the CD. That was the reason I picked this up. I don't remember why I didn't have the CD. The original CD is actually pretty challenging to get. Cost a little bit. And the reissue was not going to cost me a little bit. So I actually picked this up from Utopia Records in the city, which was really nice. I got them to mail order it to me. Of course, going to the city right now is not one of the things I really want to be doing. But they got it to me in like a day or two. So there you go. Sacramentum with Far Away from the Sun. Absolutely classic, melodic, late 90s black metal. Very, very good. Another reissue. First time ever on vinyl. Cruciform with Atavism. This is Australian death doom from about 95 or so. Yes, 95. So it has the album and it has the Paradox demo on the back. It's not one of those deals either when, you know, they just throw a demo on there. It's pretty much like the reissue of the CD had the demo. This is one of those things where if you've got the album, you have the demo as well. It's extra track, like it's not. The tracks on the demo are not on the album. That's what I'm trying to say. It's more material. It's just an EP. Think of it more as an EP, not a demo, because it is produced completely perfection. I actually prefer the production on the 3 tracks of the Paradox demo than I do on the album itself. So these guys, yeah, complete institution. They not playing the disembowelment style, really slow funeral death doom. This was more. It'd be funny if I said upbeat, but it's not. Interesting as well that the vocalist is the drummer. Not many bands that do that. I've been able to see them live since they reformed, and that was just crushing stuff. Nice red vinyl on this one I chose. There was a blue and a black. And being a Sydney band, it was not too hard to get copies of it. I think they're a Sydney band anyway. So yeah, I managed to get a copy locally from the band, so that was really good. Just looking at the track list at the back, and I just hear the songs in my head. Sanctuary is obviously one of the big tracks that you hear a lot. But the track from the Paradox demo, I to the Heavens Shall Lift My Eyes, is easily my favourite track that Cruciform have done. Such a heavy riff on that. So yeah, not much more I can say. Cruciform Atavism. If you're only familiar with Australian death doom and funeral doom by disembowelment, then check out Cruciform and yeah, let me know what you think, because this is an absolute banger. This I cannot believe I found locally. This was Necrophiliac's album from what the hell is this thing even called? Citadel of Mirrors. I had forgotten what that was called. This is on Drowned Records. There you go there. Yeah, I'm still surprised I found this. I'm just kind of in shock still. I wanted the CD of this for 15 years, and I just kind of wrote it off that I'm never going to find the thing. It's 90s death metal. It's I think they're a Mexican band, I think, and quite an ugly sound. I think the picture on the cover here kind of gives you an idea. They're pretty sort of death grindy, I guess. And a seller on Australian Discogs had the LP. I'm like, okay, and the LP is cheaper than the CD. That happens every now and then. And this was one of those cases. It was cheaper to buy the Drowned Productions LP than it would have been to find the equivalent CD. So yeah, completely stoked to get this. Yeah, it's nothing too exciting in here, but just the black LP, Drowned Productions. There's their logo, which is very cool. I know I'm touching the LP, but how else am I going to get it out on camera? And get the original lyric and photo sheet, which is very cool. Yeah, I think it was the cover that made me so utterly curious about this band all those years ago. Get in there, you stupid thing. Resleeving on camera. I just guess I will not bother. So anyway, Necrophiliac with that amazing cover, and the album again is called Citadel of Mirrors. Cannot believe I have it. Amazing. The next one, another one, very happy to find. Assassin. Amazing. Upcoming terror. This is great thrash. This is just Sodom era thrash. This is just thrash. It's completely just thrash. I don't know what else to say about it. It's got a fucking giant tank on the cover. It's thrash. Amazing. There's the band there. It's a Steam Hammer press from like 90 or 89 or something like that. Not too sure. But anyway, it's from the thrash era. Love the inner sleeve there with the band. All kinds of live shows. Got lyrics and things. Assassin. What else am I going to say? I don't know. It's just quality 80s thrash metal in the Sodom style. there you go. You must have heard them by now. Coming Terror. There's a follow-up album from this which I didn't like as much at all. This is definitely the one to get from them, and it's got a tank on the cover. So, what else do I have to say? This is another good one. Had this on CD for ages. Atrocity Hallucinations. Atrocity are a band that now play, if they're still around, they went very gothy. I don't know why, but they did. They went very gothy, and don't like it at all. Their second album, which has got a German name, I can't remember how to say it, they went a bit more sort of proggy death thrash. This one is just more straightforward death thrash, leaning on the death. Has a real ripping guitar sound to it. Really happy to get the LP of it as well. Like I said, I had the CD for ages. It's got the Modern Invasion triangle stuck on there with concrete glue, and it's this is a H.R. Geiger wonderful piece as well on the front cover there. So not sure where the band is actually from. 1990s when the release came out. It's on Nuclear Blast. And it's a Scott Burns produced album, so you sort of know how it sound like. Really cool inner sleeve there, the lyrics, and Atrocity and Nuclear Blast. So yeah, I love this album. I really do. I respect the follow-up album for how more progressive and technical the band got, but this is the one I always go to with Hallucinations. So there you go, Atrocity, fantastic. And this is a death thrash, well, a proggy thrash band that I didn't know a great deal about, Assorted Heat, with Mind Waves, and again, I didn't even realise I put two to two together there, but they got more H.R. Geiger artwork. Really, really interesting sound. It's got I'm trying to think of who to compare it to. The vocals remind me of Grinder. Overall it is thrash, but it's a bit more of that sort of thinking man's kind of thrash, a little bit more progressive, a little bit more of a curious sound to it. I really enjoyed it on the... I've played it through twice so far. Like I said, I'd never heard this one before. But the same seller that had the Assassin had this, and I thought, great, 2 thrash for 1 stone, why not? But yeah, I don't have much more to say about it. I know it's really well thought of, generally well respected, so I'll be digging into it a few more times. And I think it's just boring old black. And just got some more Geiger artwork on there, so there you go. Assorted Heat with Mind Waves. Now, this is a UK thrash band I love, Death Wish with Demon Preacher. Another one from Australian Discogs, and unfortunately it's a bit damaged. The CD I've got is the reissue, which is fine. I've been playing that for many years now. A few updates ago I showed the debut album that I picked up on LP, which was a bit more I don't know, a bit more heavy metal, a bit more speed metal than this kind of thrash masterpiece. But the problem with this record that I've got is, and I won't bother taking it out to show you because you won't be able to see it, the previous owner must have somehow created his own groove. I don't know how he managed to do it, but you can see a sort of spiral that goes around a couple of the tracks. So on track 2 and then on to track 3, every single time the stylus will skip and jump along, and I can see it doing it, so that's not good. Somehow he must have used a cleaning machine, done something, made some circle that was not perfectly circle, and it's cut its own groove. The seller did not help me out whatsoever, which was very annoying, but in the end I got it very cheap. So, and side B plays and most of side A is okay, but I would prefer to get a better copy. Anyway, great UK thrash band, Death Wish, so Demon Preacher, check it out. From the same seller though, I did get this, and this one is perfectly fine, and I'm stoked to have it. This is Exorcist with Nightmare Theatre. Wow. I was talking to my buddy Extra the Mutilator about this for a while, and he said, you've got to get it, it's absolutely amazing thrash metal. And then it did show up on a local seller, and yeah, he was right, it's excellent. I'd say it's more speed metal. It doesn't quite hit the pace of sort of ripping thrash metal, but yeah, the interesting thing about this band, which most of you probably already know, is that they are not really a real band. It's I think it's made up of members, well, supposedly made up with members from Virgin Steel, I think is the band, and it was sort of one of those things put together by the record label, and yeah, they're not, you know, the people in the band are using pseudonyms, and you don't know who they are. They did one album, and it's this horror themed, as you can tell, and by the name. It's got sort of, it doesn't have samples in a Mortician style, but they've got sort of recreations of some horror elements and lines and things like that. Nothing much to see on the back. But yeah, this is the original Cobra, I think it's the Cobra press? Yeah, it is the Cobra press. I knew it was the original one. It's just a lot of fun. It's really good. It's quite long. I think it's the track, The Trial, that starts with sort of like opening lines of The Crucible, like the witch trial stuff. You've got Burnt Offerings, another track on here, and Call for the Exorcist. There you go. A lot of fun, horror themed speed thrash metal from a band that don't really exist on Cobra Records. Very, very, very cool. Very happy to have it. I've been trying to get more acquainted with Cogumelo Brazilian thrash releases of bands that are not Sarcophago, are not Sepultura, and one of them is Explicit Hate. I didn't know who this was, and then it just came up in my saved search on Discogs, because I've got anything from Cogumelo that comes from Australia to show up in my search results, and this did. Quite a plain cover, not that exciting. Looks like a hardcore punk kind of thing, maybe, particularly that logo. And it's just fun Brazilian thrash. The A-side's, I guess, a bit more ripping than the B-side. It starts to get, I'm not going to say groove, but it gets into a groove by the other side. It doesn't have the ferocity of the other bands like Sepultura and things like that. And I'm not too sure how much this band did. I don't really know, actually. But this album is really good, and I got it very cheap. I love the sort of digital clock font, and they keep that going with the song titles there as well. That might have been a one and done, I'm not too sure. Have to look it up. But yes, I do love the big fat Cogumelo logo there. So yeah, Explicit Hate. Just good solid Brazilian thrash that's different to your usual numbers, and I'm hoping to find more bands. I've got a Volcano live album. I would kill to get the actual debut on Cogumelo. Chacal would be another I'd like to get, and sometimes they cost a bit of money, so we'll see how we go. But this is Explicit Hate with A View of the Other Side. Very good. Going to Japan now and getting some traditional heavy metal under our belts. This is Anthem with their self-titled album. I didn't know anything about these guys, and just browsing to see the latest stuff added to Discogs, and I saw that cover and I went, oh yeah, that's got to be just 80s heavy metal, quote unquote. And I was not disappointed. It was mint as well. It came shrink wrapped. I had to tear it open. And look at the band photos there. These guys in Anthem. It's just wonderful. It's just straight up heavy metal. Tracks like Red Light Fever, Rock and Roll Stars, Star Formation, Warning, Action with exclamation marks. And because it's Japanese and Japanese bands, some of the lyrics are English, some are in Japanese. But this is worth showing. The LP is just standard black. That's not worth showing. But the inner booklet, there you go, and it's got Japanese writing and the English in the back here. Great photo there. And even had the hype sticker, which I've managed to take off the shrink wrap, kept that. But check this out. So half English, half Japanese lyrics. Now, where's the one I was looking for? There is some pretty amusing lyrics in here. When you read the English ones. Oh yeah, this one here. Star formation. There are the lyrics. I don't know why. Star formation. I don't know why. Star formation. I don't know why. Star formation. I don't know why. And I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, this is just good fun heavy metal. I suppose you compare it to like loudness. But personally, I prefer this over loudness. I think they were sort of, like brother bands, like competitors maybe of the time. What year is this? It'll be like 84 maybe. Something like that. 85, there you go. And as I said, this thing was absolutely mint. It was still shrink wrapped. And those of you that watch me with my movie updates and my love for Japanese VHS, you know how amazing condition those things can be in. And this is just no different. Like, there is something with how the Japanese take care of their physical media. Now the next one I am very impressed that I got for the price I got it from. I got this from a Melbourne record store. I think I got it for such a good price because the rear of the cover is not A1. And anyway, this is now officially the oldest record in my collection and fills an amazingly large hole. Black Sabbath, Paranoid. This is a Japanese press from 1970. It's got some sort of cover damage there that I could care less about. When I entered this on Discogs, because I keep my entire collection on there, I was amazed at how much everything else for this is going for versus what I paid. I paid a record store price. I wasn't beating them down or anything. But this is the Japanese Philips edition. There's a few variants. It's Paranoid. So if you have a look on Discogs for this release, you get kind of lost. There are so many flavors of this album considering the age. But anyway, I don't need to speak about this album. Everybody knows it's amazing. Gatefold, Japanese lyrics and English lyrics in there. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. It's Paranoid. It has amazing tracks. It's got War Pigs, it's got Paranoid, Planet Caravan, Iron Man, Electric Funeral, Hand of Doom, Rat Salad, the funny little one in the middle there, and Fairies Wear Boots, which is, whatever, Fairies Wear Boots, but the rest of it is absolutely essential stuff. I did not own any Black Sabbath, and now I own arguably the most important one, and I'm very happy with it. The playback condition for the oldest record in my collection, it's 50 friggin' years old. This piece of wax is 50 years old. The playback condition after giving it 2 thorough cleans is very, very good. In the quiet spots, a little bit of click, a little bit of pop, not much at all. I got rid of it, got rid of so much of that noise, so I'm stoked. It has such a big warm sound as well. I couldn't believe how thunderous the drums sounded in War Pigs and Iron Man. Man, there's a reason it's a classic, and it's an excellent pressing as well. So Philips Japanese gatefold of Paranoid. It's amazing. And the last release I'm going to look at today, which is easily the biggest, most epic release of this update, and that is the new album from Paysage de Verre. This is Im Wald. It is a 4-disc, I'm going to take out a 4-disc box set. There you go. Lid. You get the booklet, which has wonderful artwork and lyrics, which they're known for in their LP releases. It's very nice. We get a little poster. There we go. Which is very, very nice. Double-sided there with just the print. And 4 LPs, which are all in simple grey wood grain effect kind of thing. I won't get them all out. It was actually kind of challenging to work out which disc was which, so I put little number stickers on there. They come off, they don't cause damage, it's fine. Anyway, just simple black vinyl, heavy 180 gram I think, and it's Paysage de Verre. It is not too dissimilar from their previous, or his previous work. Love the front cover on that one. It's I've talked about them before. It's one man. Winter is the name of the artist that makes the music for Paysage, and winter is the theme. The idea between all of the releases of the band is it's a long journey through snow, and this is just another 4-disc journey through that snow. It is, in terms of comparing to other releases, I mean, you could sort of say in the nicest possible way that all of their material sounds the same. The production on this one has a slightly clearer boost to it. There's a bit more distinction with the drums, mostly. In fact, the drums are brought to the surface quite a bit. That makes it almost sound like the sister band Dark Space. Subtitles on the back. This is actually quite heavy to hold. But anyway, it's an excellent album. I've listened to all 4 LPs, both sides, and it's very, as I said, similar to the previous work. It is relentlessly fast, atmospheric black metal with ambient interludes that just sound like walking through snow. Involved. Just another amazing album from Paysage de Verre, and a lovely heavy box set of 4 LPs. There's a CD, I'm sure, as well. And there you go. That is the update. Thank you all for watching yet again. Hope you all enjoyed. See you next time.